So, welcome to our today's SpecFlow stream. Sure. Yeah, thank you for joining us today. Let's turn all notifications off. Topic of the day is we continue where we stopped last times. So last time we developed a Android application and we are using Appium to test this. We had some infrastructure problems to get it to run, but at the end we were able to get the application to start and to test something. We will work on this today. Before starting with that, all of the source code of the applications we are developing here on streams are on our streaming projects repository. Here you find all the source codes, the old projects, community content submission page. Here's the link to it. And also the recordings of all our streams you will find on our YouTube channel. You can go to go.specflow.org/YouTube and get here, and you find here the different streams, and we have playlists. So we have the whole 5 parts of how we automate an ASP.NET Core application with Selenium and SpecFlow. We have our webinars, us getting started, and more. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notifications when we upload new videos. The video from last stream is not yet there, but it's still in processing. Should be up there today or tomorrow. Good. Then let's start and continue with testing. So let's close here all. Let's make the first one. Let's start up the emulator and the application. A short recap what we have here. Yeah, this is always first time emulator starting always takes time. Starting, installing, and removing packages. And it's starting and crashing again. Okay. How to load stop? What was the? That's a good start. Okay. Mostic output. Okay. Emulator. No, then let's try the usual. Normally it helps to uninstall that. Good. If you have questions, please ask them in the chat, and I will try to answer them. So, multiplied. Now, is it now working? Yes. It's working. So what the application has done is simply displaying you the age of your baby. The data is currently hard coded. Displays in days, weeks, and months, and so. Nothing big here. I was to now a change in the CS Pro. Okay. So, one thing where we had last time problems is that we need to deploy a release version that we can test with Appium. The debug version didn't want it to work. So one thing I had in mind how we can fix this is we have here in the configuration fix it to make it more currently easier and to have a faster development cycles. We make a configuration and we have here configuration and we configure here that the Android app is always built in release. Yeah, we should probably do and create a new solution configuration working on test automation. We copy the settings from debug. Don't create new projects configurations. And we want to switch this to release. Close. And then we have here the working on test automation. And what is now? Let's open the Explorer. So we remove all of this. And let's make a build. And you see now we have here it's a release build created for the Android application. That's one thing, and the other thing what's missing is we don't have an APK, an Android package, and as far as I remember, what is this doing now? Alright. Okay, this created now one. What does ad hoc distribution channel? No. So let's see what we had the problem here is no Appium driver. The path didn't work the last time, so have to always manually deploy the application. But if you're doing this now, and that's the application name. Bin and not debug, it's release. And let's deinstall this here. Cool. So now when we run the test, the Appium server is missing. Yeah. No. one thing that needs to be running is the Appium server. Appium X is running okay. It needs a little bit to start. And yeah, finally. Multiple times. So, start server. Now we can run these. Okay. Hey, found the APK. And was able to start the application. Nice. So this works already better than last time. So the one thing what we now need to is to that the APK is generated every time. So so let's have a look. Xamarin ms build create APK from command line. Wow. What target do we need? Sign Android package. This is from 2000. Okay, let's have a look in the Microsoft.com documentation. Xamarin, Android docs. Deployment and testing. Building apps. Building app. Building process. Fast deployment, MS build projects, binding, signing, key tool option, command line emulator, no. Prepare for release. No, bundle, AOT. That's what we did in the UI. Advanced concepts. Build targets. Android build application package. Okay, we need to set this Android build application package to true, this property. So what we can do is, so big question is, does this have, is this in the UI or not? No. Oh, it doesn't look like it's in the UI. So what we need to do is, we need to manually change the CS profile. So for that we go in the folder, app, Android, and CS Pro. What we do now is So CS browser XML, and in the old one there is some default. No, we don't need this. We need to set this property. Let's see if it's set here. No, we simply set this MS build property to true. Now Visual Studio wants that we reload this. So let's delete everything here. Let's make a build. And let's see if now our APK is generated automatically. Build is still running. Is it ready or what? No, it's still running. Or set when building, yes. So, finished. And we have our APK. Cool. Cool. So, let's, only to be sure. Uninstall this. Let's run this again. And let's hope this works. Cool. Cool. So, this works. So now, what we did is, short recap. Now what we learned the last time is that we need a release APK, that this works in the emulator when we start with Appium. At the end of last stream, we always had to do a manual deployment. We had to switch to release, had then a manual deployment to the emulator, and then we could, after switching back to debug, we could run the tests. And this was cumbersome and takes time. So what now we changed is that that the tests are still a debug build. Only the Android application is built as release. And with the change to the CS.pro file, to the project file, we said that at every build it should generate the APK, not then when I select here archive or deploy. And that gave us now the option that we can again use this capability to give a pass to the APK to Appium, that Appium installs for us the application. So we now it takes more time to compile every time, but when we start the test, we can be sure that the latest version is used and installed on the device. We had a problem where I changed something in the application. The automation didn't work because I didn't deploy it. So this should be now much more smoother for us to work. So in our development loops, you have always think if this is also something that's feasible for your project. Here we have in one solution the application and the test projects. So this is nice. You don't need this if you have completely separate teams. So development testing loop quicker, build app always in release, build always an APK, use path to APK in Appium. Good. This should make it far more easily now for us to make to be quicker. So good. So last time we didn't only want one scenario, but we had also a second one where we tried to test this. Already test the application. This was successful last time. This was only because of some change that it that we see the test failing, but today it will already fail. It's sure that it will fail. Simple reason is that time goes by 1 week. So last time this was 100 days, today this is 107 days. Run this now. We see that the test is green. Sorry for that. Yeah, it's green. So we don't want to adjust every day all our tests to keep them green. So this is cumbersome. So why is this failing? Let's have a look at the application in the app. It's a simple datetime now minus a constant. And so what we now need to do is we need to, and also to write easier feature files. We have written it here, the date, but as far as I remember, the step is not implemented. On today this is also not implemented. So let's try to get this this screen, and let's implement also these two bindings, and for that we need something called a backdoor. So a little bit hacky. So we need, when the application is running, we need to set from the outset manipulate some internal state that it thinks today is this day, and it's the hard-coded value is the one we have in the feature file. So how can we do this? So let's first start with that we get rid of these two values here from the main view model. Or no, yes, that, because that's not changeable. So let's create a new class, and this is normally let's make a datetime provider. So, and this has a public datetime now property. And let's make it static. And in the first time implementation, let's only change this. So this is not datetime now. This is a datetime provider now. And then let's also make birthday provider. So, and public datetime date. Yep, based on date. Get. And let's return this here. We can return this here. And we need to change this to, okay, birthday provider. So the big question, does Xamarin Forms have a dependency injection integrated, or do an dependency injection? Or do we need, that's some registration. Okay, they're doing so. Oh, okay. No, let's keep this static for the moment, and this is the birthday provider date. So, the big question now is, okay, we have these 9 separate classes. We have this in separate classes. Now what do we do? So we want to set this. And we want to set this, and one thing is, with time it's always running. We can't set this to some static. It has to need to be running. So we can't do, say, make something like, so well, let's start this first. The easy implementation, datetime now. That's initialized with datetime now, and the easiest implementation would be is equals value, and here return now. That would be the easiest first version, but this time is so every time we asked for now, we get the same value. This is, so time is not running for the application. So this is most of the time bad. So let's make the more sophisticated implementation is we make a static time span difference, and time span 0. We can remove this. And what we do is we say difference equals datetime now minus value, and when we ask for now, we add this difference again and to now. So this is always moving, and the difference is in the one moment when we set now, okay, it's this at that point in time. We only remember the difference we had, so we can let runtime still time. So we get then, when we ask 5 seconds later for the time, we get the 5 seconds later for the time. Yeah, a little bit complicated. So, and the same for the not the same for the DOS, but this birthday provider, this is fixed. So, let's make this simply. No, we can't do. Get set and equals this. So okay, it's a little bit long. Let's get testing. So we have a static property get set, which is enlarged with this value. Nice. And from outside we can't change this now. This is now the big question: how we can change this. And for that, yeah, that's the next funny thing. So yeah, build takes longer. So what's possible is, so I made some research. So Appium has different support for different drivers in the background to automate the stuff. And currently we are using the UI Automator 2 driver for Android apps. We have defined this here at automation name. That's fine, but it's lacking one feature that we now need, and this is this Backdoor feature. There's also the Espresso driver, and for this this driver has some functionality we now need to use. And where did I find the documentation? Can we new session request? Yeah, this was this. Writing running tests. No. This is here. No, this is the one. The automator. So backdoor. Appium espresso. Espresso. Yeah. So that's the one. This mobile backdoor method is available, and what you can do here is you can execute script and the script args, and you can say give where it's called and which parameters is. And with that, we can from the outside control what's the state inside the application. So the first thing what we need to do is to switch this to Espresso. And let's see if our automation is still working. So let's run both tests and see what is happening. So it's still running, okay. Doesn't Cradle will not be logged. Okay, some internal stuff changed now. Hopefully this doesn't take every time so long. So when this is possible, what should we now be enable? So on our test automation side, we can make this here. So we have some, we say this, what should be called with arguments, and our application side on Android there has to be there is an application class, and there we can add this public methods, raised, in this case raised toast string message, and this is what we define here, and then execute it, and this should work, and execute it, and so hello from the test script. Let's see if we can get this to run. So this is still, now something more is happening. Okay, looks like our application starts. That's good. So let's see if our second test now it starts the application and finds the elements for it. It will fail because the value is different. But this should, yeah, 100 and 107. Cool. So our automation approach still works. That's nice. So then let's try to get this sample first. If we can make this Backdoor to work. So what we first need is we need to make an application class in Android. So new, is there already a application? No. So then only a class. So this inherits from application. It has to be public. It needs an application attribute, and as far as I remember, we need the constructor. Xamarin Android application class. That's Xamarin Forms. Yeah, that should be fine. So let's try to build this and start it. App does not contain at 0. Okay, we need a second constructor. Yeah, okay. Okay. This app, and let's rename this everywhere. This app. And this is on the app. So we have the Xamarin Forms app, and so but now we don't need this anymore. So looks good. It's taking again longer because release build and APK generation. So let's start this again. Let's see if the application starts. Cool. So, and now we can use this. So public voice raise to string message. And this is toast make text. This, the text is the message, and the toast line iteration is long. Cool, so that's that part. We need here bracket more. And then let's do this here. So this is then the Appium driver execute script, and the script name is, so script is mobile Doppelpunkt Backdoor, and the object args. So object args, so execute script args. So how we translate this to .NET, that's a map, but this is script args. This is Appium.NET execute script args. This is an object, so okay, this is no types at all. So let's try this. So we have what does this do? Let's have a quick look into the implementation. Okay, execute script command. Args. Convert arguments to JavaScript object. Remote WebDriver. Okay. So object args and convert object to JavaScript object. So if arg is that type, return an arg. If dictionary, then does take the keys. Cool. So we can use the same. So we need now a new dictionary, string object. The first is target with our application. And we need here this. The second one is methods, and here we have again a dictionary, string object, which has the name. This is raise toast. Then we have the args, and this is again a dictionary, string object, which has again one entry with, no, two entries. First with value, hello from the test script, and then a type, and this is string, capital S. So, and args. So, target application, methods with the raise to toast, args, value, and we pass this as here. Let's build this and let's see what's happening. So, test is started. It's quick. I hope it's quicker. Which session could not be created? Security exception. Okay. Certain information content from does not have a signature matching to target. Check. Okay. Okay. Rebuild this. So let's try it again. So it's the same one. So what is happening if we deinstall this? Yeah, probably because we did one time. manually deploy. That. So, what was the error? Here. Except beginner was a begin object. Okay, looks like we do have some problem with the how we create JSON argument here. Okay. Any info where it could be. Line 1, column 36, $methods. Let's have a quick comparison with this again. So this is methods, and this is an array of. So methods is a new list of dictionary string object. In new list and has one element in it. What? Yeah. So methods is a list, and one element has name args, and this is again a list. The args are also a list. New list dictionary string object. Okay, let's see what's happening now. Map starts. So there was a crash. Unknown server-side error. Origin no public method is notified on class or its parent, which takes Java string class. Because this is this app. Java lang string and this is a system string, so Java lang string public needs to be public void. So build. So let's see if this works. If this was the problem. Oh, doesn't look like so. Okay, good. We will find out what's happening here after a short break. I'm back in some minutes. See ya. So, and I'm back. So let's find out what's happening here. It still complains that it can't, no public method defined on class or its parents, which takes argument Java long string. So we have, what could happen is that the linker kills it. So in a release build, you have an Android linker which strips unused code here, and this is a method that's for clearly unused for it. So let's see how we can Xamarin disable linker for method. Linker behavior, yeah, don't link. Controlling the linker. Preserve. Cool. Let's put this on preserve all members true. So the whole class. Let's see if this was the case, what the problem were. So build. Let's run it again. Starts the application, it's good. So, mobile background. Now there was still one error. Here, no such method. Let's to be sure. App steps. That's same name. Xamarin and Espresso mobile backdoor. Okay, this is Calabash. Okay, there's an export. Perhaps there's some name. Raise toast. And some name wrangling. Or something internal. Okay, that's all the same, so yeah, okay. Then good. Add reference. Assemblies, mono, Android export. That didn't do anything. Mono, Android export. Let's compile. Let's see if we found something else. That's all Calabash. That's all. Good, this is test cloud, good. Okay, so let's see if this was the missing part. To make this export could be because how Xamarin works, you have always the Java Android part and the .NET part, and probably not everything is exported to the Java interface. So with this export, this makes it accessible from the Java side. Make this bigger. So there's mobile posting this. This is the body. Let's see if this is correct. Yes. So Notepad++, there is some JSON viewer. And let's take this from the blog post, this JSON, and compare it. Let's format it all the same. And move to another view. So application, we have stuff, methods, array, type, name, rows, raised toast, args, list, value, type. Good. The JSON looks good. Backdoor. That's good. Espresso. No. So to be sure, let's deinstall the application. Let's make a rebuild. No APKs here. Not yet, at least. So, finished. Now let's start the test again. So install it, the latest version. Starting. Hey, it didn't crash. Backdoor. Okay, I only looked at the log. I didn't look at the emulator. So again, do we see the toast message? Not really. Did I look at something? Ah, we should also show it. Okay. Once again, that the application wasn't updated in the emulator. What was the problem? Good. Okay, we have new APKs, so let's see. Okay, I think again it's perhaps you can configure something in Appium that it's always reinstalling the app. So application is starting. And here we have it. We have our toast message. Our backdoor is working. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. So, that's cool. Backdoor is working. Nice, and this makes it so now so easier. So, what we can now do is we make here a public void set birthday with a, let's see if string date birthday string. We make this again, we need to export this, set birthday. And what we can do is we can say birth, so first we need to parse it. So date time, parse, we make an exec, the birthday string, and the format is oh. So this should be ISO 8601. Culture birthday. And then we can say birthday provider date equals birthday. And on our other side is, so we can make now here a new, let's make a new driver class. That's the backdoor driver. Public. So public void set birthday, date time. And when we what we need is the Appium driver. And when we copy this here, so the method is birthday and the value is data datetime to string with O. So, and what we can do is here we can make this a helper method, extract method, create backdoor arcs, but we change this. So the one thing what we want to make this is a parameter. This is the method name and this is the value. And we can remove this here. So we have now a nice easy method. And in our steps, in our baby steps is we can now say here in the back with the backdoor driver, let's get the field, backdoor driver set birthday, and we can make this a date time, baby birthday. So and we can do the same for the public void set today, date time today, var arcs equals create backdoor. Can also make this one method, execute backdoor with yeah, but this is more method name, value. Again, we don't need this. We have here set birthday, and here it's set today. Also let's make the step here complete, set today to today. This is also a date time. And now we need in this app similar like this, set today. That's the today string. We make an exactly pass with O. This is today. And then we have the date info. No. The datetime provider dot now equals today. It's more. It's more than given when it is currently. That's better. Oh. So it's better. That's it's what we have. It's now and not 2 days. So string date time now, and this is more set. Yeah, it's set 2 days now, but this is more a set now. It's not a date we. Yeah. Set now. That's set now, and then let's change it also here. Set now. Set now. And this is the now string. This is also now. Cool. Build. Good. Running. So now what it is now is we can change now the internal state, but on the UI it doesn't happen. Nothing happens at all. So what can we do to fix this? One thing with MVVM and that's that we have the I notify property changed. Stuff. Yeah. Good. So what we need is okay. This from now. It's a good idea. Let's undo this. So the whole data binding with WPF and Xamarin forms. There is some event-based infrastructure that you can notify the UI when something changed. For that you have to implement interface notify. And this is simply has a event handler, property changed, and the stuff is listening on that. And you have here the property that's changed. So what we can do now here is define property changed. And what we can do is we need to cascade this. So if the also the birthday changed, now we need to make this property with baking field and statement body, and in that case we now need what's called on property changed on that's instance. Okay. It's static, that's not so easy. That's not so easy. That's not so easy. Let's notify property change static. Let's implement this also for static. Static notify property changed. Notify property changed. So let's make a pub. Static. It works. No, I don't need this anymore. Let's implement it on our own. Public static. Yeah, I don't have one. So static. Good, and what we can do make now is on property changed date. Yeah, make a that we don't need. So, and what we can now in the main view model here in the constructor is we can register on the burst the info provider property changed and an event handler, and this now makes a on property change name of days old, weeks old, months old. Good. So what is no? So what is happening? So when the bursted provider where is it? When we set the date via our backdoor, we raise this event, and in our main view model we are listening on this event, and when this is changed, we call on property change for all these properties, and because on how data binding is working, the UI sees okay this this event, and this what we are firing here, and then gets the value again and displays on the UI. The same thing we need on the date time provider. Property changed. And in that case we can use the same event handler, because provider date changed, because it should make the same thing. Cool. So duration. So this is implemented. Set now. Execute scripts, and then we find. So we should see it. So for only for that we see what is happening. Let's make a quick add some sleeps here. We could use breakpoints. That would be too easy. Okay, let's use breakpoints. Let's break. So Test Explorer, age and months calculation. So starting. So let's see what's happening. We should see we are at 107 days. Birthday is the 18th, 18th, 20th. That was passed correctly. No public set method. Okay, then again we need to deinstall the application. And make a rebuild. Dun, 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 dun. So 1434, yeah, that's new, and let's debug it again. Application is starting. So set birthday. Set birthday doesn't do because it's the same value that's in there, but now we changed what's now is age and days 114. We have a updated UI. Nice. But it's wrong because it should be 100. So our datetime provider, our difference is wrongly implemented. We need here minus. Oops. So when we build this now, it's only the app changed and it didn't build the Android part. Thank you. No. Oh, okay. Almost built. Didn't recognize that it should build the project also. So let's see if this is the one thing what we need. $107 days. 114. Okay, it didn't deploy the application new. So is there an Appium remove app reinstall app. Reset app. No need to okay. Getting started commands. App. Okay. capabilities. So full reset. Okay, what's full reset? Android only. So I'm looking for capability that it's removing the application. Always installing new, because this is getting enforce isn't by default application is skipped if a symbol is already present. That's one. Enforce app install. Nice. So we can go here and that's driver option, add additional is probably Android mobile. It's called N4 app in. You're an Android only. Oh. But we have the string. Force app install, and this is true. So now it should work. Hopefully. So started 100. Yes, reinstalled. Nice. Cool. So use Backdoor to change internal birthday and now state. So, and finally we have the automation working. Let's do some real scenarios and just look if our implementation is correct. So age in month. So this is more age in days calculation. So let's start with simple stuff. We are born on the 1st of January. So let's make already a scenario outline. That's the birthday. Examples. Birthday. Now. Days. So the birthday is it's the 1st January 2020. 1 second. There now is this one. Let's start 1 second later. Days is 0. So let's change this here. So this is the now, and this is days. So the next example is 1 day later. On the second, it's 1 day. And then we have we start also on the 1st. And to the 1st of February, and this should be 31 days. So, and now we have variants, okay. Yeah, because the first is there, so let's make this nicer. Name 1 second after birth, 1 day after birth, 1 month after birth. So, nicer names, and let's run them and see what's happening. If our implementation is correct. Okay. Input string was not in the correct format. Interesting. Let's see what's for the other tests is happening. Okay. What's this? I saw one. Perhaps some parsing on our side is not correct. That should be now 31. Okay, some parsing on our side is not correct. Test Explorer, so down on baby. Oh, oops. Yeah, can't work. So the one thing is, perhaps one thing I already noticed is that we don't. Sorry. We don't string and okay. Yeah, okay. And if it's 0, we don't return 0. Let's change this format. This needs to be. Let's build the application. And let's run these again. Oh. Yeah, one thing so one test needs about 25 seconds to run. This is only a sample application, so I know the logic we're testing here it's be much easier to do in a unit tests. Interesting, it's not nothing there. Yeah, it's about showing how you automate this stuff. It's only an example. Your applications are much more complicated than mine. Good, this was successful. Okay, it looks like the formatting change wasn't applied. Cool. So this time it was because we didn't get it here correctly. So let's rebuild this again. Good. Let's run only the one. Oh, almost the wrong window. So let's try to get all these tests to work, and then the time for the day is already up. Now we have the 000. And everything is fine. Cool. The one thing what so let's add additional scenarios for calculation for baby age calculation. So what we can do is we can tidy this up. We don't need this anymore. We also don't need this anymore. Good. Was quite productive. So one last build, one last run of all 4 scenarios, and then we are finished for the day. So, probably should show the emulator that we see something and don't only stare at the rotating progress indicator. So, that's worked. The next one. Good. Looks good. Looks good. So let's run this again. So quick recap. What we did today to get all this working is first changed our configuration and the Appium configuration to always get the Android application built as in release mode. and always that's the APK is generated when we build the application, so Appium can have an up-to-date APK that's deployed to the emulator. The next thing what we did is we switched to the Espresso automation library from UI Automator 2, because this enabled us to use this mobile backdoor feature where we can then from our test application control from the outside what the application is doing. So these calls in this application, these methods, and with that we can change the internal state of our application to simulate better and get the whole scenarios independent of the current system date and some hard-coded values. And then at the end we wrote some nicer scenarios for it. And I think, yeah, all of them are working. So let's commit this and push up. So as I said, was quite productive. We were able to fix in the 2 hours the problems we had in the last stream. So not ideal, but it's for us now a better development test loop than before. Doesn't mean that's the best and how it should be in your project, but for this example, it's good enough. I would definitely work on make it more reliable that the application is always updated in the emulator via Appium, and that this works flawlessly. The test fails only because the old version is deployed. It's cumbersome. Again, you find all this code already here on our GitHub repo. There's the app, you can have a look at it. Recording will go up on our YouTube channel, and you find it here. And if you're watching this in the future or in the past on YouTube, follow us on twitch.tv/SpecFlow, and you get notification when we have these streams, and you can join me and ask questions during the stream, and we'll answer them. Good. I wish you a happy rest of the day, and see you next week at streams. We will, from one last time, work on this application, finish the scenarios, also for the other calculations, and clean a little bit up the application and so on. So this is a nice finished package that you can use as reference. So yeah, see you next week, and have a nice rest of the day. Bye.